Lighthouse, where we explore the stories that linger in the shadows. Tonight, we journey to the edge of the world, to a lonely lighthouse standing against the endless sea. Back in the year 1913, picture it, a solitary tower miles from the nearest town, a single beacon against the vast, dark expanse of the ocean. The keeper, a man weathered by salt and solitude, lived by one simple yet unbreakable rule: never answer the voice from the water. This wasn't just a guideline. It was a law of survival. Every night, without fail, as the thick, damp fog rolled in from the horizon, swallowing the coastline, a voice would rise from the churning depths. It was a chilling, ethereal sound that seemed to curl around the lighthouse itself. It would call his name, a desperate, pleading whisper carried on the wind. Sometimes it begged for help, its tone filled with an urgency that could break your heart. Other times, it just called his name over and over, a haunting echo in the night. Night after night, the keeper stood his ground. He'd light the great lamp, its beam cutting a powerful arc through the darkness, and he would ignore the cries. He'd busy himself with his duties, polishing the brass, checking the fuel. His jaw clenched, his knuckles white. He knew the rule. He knew the cost of breaking it. The sea holds many secrets, and some are best left undisturbed. He had heard tales from other sailors, hushed warnings about the sirens of the deep, entities that lure the unwary to their doom. His predecessor had left a single, cryptic note in the logbook: "Do not listen." But one night, everything changed. A furious storm raged, battering the coast with relentless fury. Waves like liquid mountains crashed against the stone base of the lighthouse, sending tremors up through its very core. The wind howled like a tormented spirit, and the fog was so dense it felt like a solid wall. Amidst this chaos, the voice from the water shifted. It was no longer a stranger's plea. This time, it wore a familiar, soul-shattering sound. It was the voice of his wife, his beloved wife, who had been taken by illness years ago, whose memory he cherished in the quiet hours of his lonely vigil. "Darling, please." The voice cried out, laced with a pain that pierced him deeper than any winter chill. "It's me. I'm so cold. Let me." And the keeper's resolve, forged over countless nights of silence, began to crack. He rushed to the window, peering into the swirling maelstrom below. The voice sounded so real, so full of suffering. Was it possible? A miracle, a soul lost at sea, returned to him. His heart hammered against his ribs, a frantic drumbeat against the symphony of the storm. Reason fought with love, duty with despair. He stumbled towards the heavy oak door, his hand trembling as he reached for the latch. The rule, the warnings, they all faded into the background, drowned out by the desperate hope blooming in his chest. He threw the door open, stepping out onto the narrow walkway that encircled the tower. The sea spray hit him like 1,000 icy needles. The fog was blinding, a disorienting white void. "Where are you?" he shouted into the wind, his voice raw with emotion. The voice came again, impossibly close now, seeming to rise from the very rocks at his feet. "I'm here," it whispered, the sound now laced with something other than desperation, something triumphant. The very instant the keeper's words left his lips, a profound change occurred. The colossal lamp at the top of the lighthouse, his one and only duty, sputtered and died. The powerful beam that had held the darkness at bay vanished, plunging the world into absolute blackness. And just as suddenly, the sea fell silent. The howling wind ceased, the crashing waves stopped, and unnatural, deafening quiet descended, more terrifying than the storm it replaced. When the sun rose the next morning, its first light revealed a calm, glassy sea. Passing ships, navigating the treacherous coastline, noticed something was terribly wrong. The familiar lighthouse was dark. A rescue party was sent ashore. They found the tower's door swinging gently in the morning breeze. Inside, everything was in its place, but the great lamp was cold and extinguished. The keeper's logbook lay open on his desk, the last entry detailing the weather from the previous day, but of the keeper himself there was no sign. He was gone, vanished into the thin, salty air. To this day, sailors who travel those waters share a chilling legend. They say that on nights when the fog is especially heavy, a phantom lighthouse sometimes appears on the horizon, a ghostly light where no structure should be. And if you're out on the water, and you hear a voice calling your name, a desperate plea for help drifting from the waves, remember the keeper's story. Do not listen, do not look, and whatever you do, never ever answer, because some voices are not meant to be answered. Thanks for joining us on this journey into the unknown. If you enjoy tales that explore the darkness, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Until next time, stay curious.